Hi everyone, this is Kai from WCC, and today we'll be looking at the finals of the Card Fight Vanguard Masterplay 2019 tournament, sponsored by OzAnimart, held at Melbourne Madfest. Now, this tournament was actually an invite-only tournament. You had to qualify at your local level before you were invited to participate in the finals. And this was held just before the release of Phantasmal Steed Restoration. So unfortunately we won't see those new cool clans like Pale Moon and Shadow Paladin, but we'll be able to see some of the big daddies been playing around in the previous format, and that is Narukami and Dimension Police. Now, James Futcher is on the right, he's piloting Narukami, and Eric Tan is on the left, he's piloting Dimension Police. Now, this matchup, Dimension Police, I feel is quite favored against Narukami, especially if you go first. Pretty much in standard, if you go first, you have a big advantage. But here, we have Force versus Excel, and that 10k power for Force is going to be very nice at grade 2 against Narukami, who wants to just put on that pressure early. He'll have to commit more resources, and then just be able to have less cards in hand to guard those big crit columns coming in from Dimension Police later on. So it really comes down to who gets to go first, and who gets to just push on that advantage. Now, looks like James gets to go first. That is good times for him. He rides his Demolition Dragon and is able to just go into grade 2 later and just put on that pressure. Now, Eric here just rides a Quilt. He's probably not going to play anything else. He doesn't have to. You can just attack the Vanguard with that, and it's likely that James will just take it. Does and doesn't guard that. No crit trigger, no trigger, anything. Just 1 damage. Now, here is the key play. We want to see if James puts on some pressure. He's riding his Zuitan, and looks like he's calling his Cho as well. That is able to restand because Eric has no cards in that front row. And he's got 1 damage ready to do that restand unless Eric gets that damage check. Now, in Eric's position, he's probably just going to no-guard this and pray. And he does do that, but doesn't get a damage trigger. So that is a good times for James. This is swinging in, forcing another guard. Eric is thinking of guarding. He doesn't guard and eats a crit straight to the face. That could be the deciding attack right there. Eric gets 1 damage trigger, so that's not enough to stop the Cho, and is forced to guard with a heal trigger. So things are kind of going south for Eric. Looks like his hand has a few grade 3s in there. He's able to ride his Platinum Ace, which is very nice. That has a 5k boost already on itself. And here he can just attack that Cho, get rid of a very annoying threat on the Narukami side, and deny any damage for James to be able to use next turn on his grade 3 turn. James guards with a crit trigger, but I think he's forgetting that Platinum Ace gets extra power, so that's only guarding for 1. He goes for it, and Eric gets a draw trigger. Very nice. He's able to get rid of that threat and get another card into his hand. Now, James right here is going to ride a Detonics. Not able to get a restand off, unfortunately, because no free counterblast, but gets Excel 2. How hard is he going to commit this turn? He's thinking of calling at least 1 card already, and we'll see what it is soon. And looks like it's a Thunderbreak Dragon, so I think he's just going to call that on the normal Regard circle. That means he has something saved up for that Excel line, and that is a Death Scythe Dragon. That Death Scythe Dragon, he's Soul Blasting 2 for that Death Scythe Dragon, getting that extra power. Usually it binds and gets the power, but he's just using it for the power. That is hitting 22, because it also has a built-in power boost when it has no other cards in front of it. So hitting 22, Thunderbreak on 12, and Vanguard is also swinging for 12 as well. Interesting, Thunderbreak is not swinging first. Maybe James is banking on fronts if he's running that. And Eric takes it, doesn't get any triggers again. Unfortunately, he's now have to guard either the Thunderbreak or Death Scythe or both. He decides to drop a 10k to drop the stop the Thunderbreak, and takes that 22. I don't think he actually has anything to commit to actually stop that 22, so unfortunately, that's not great. He rides a Dialiner, that's good, but it goes for Force 1. Now, Force 2 here I think would be better. I think this matchup, if you're playing, especially against Excel, which normally doesn't get that many cards into their hand, especially Narukami as well, because they're more focused on binding and putting on pressure early, so their hand size is usually smaller than normal. Going Force 2 is much more threatening, in my opinion, than Force 1, because here, that die liner is getting a crit. It is hitting for now 43 with 2 crits, sorry. So that's at maximum only going to deal 4 damage, worst case scenario. So that is not lethal. Eric will have to commit an extra card in the front row to also profit on a double crit to threaten lethal. So if he doesn't call anything out, which he might not, because you want to kind of still play conservatively against Narukami, which has all those binds, that is not a lethal turn. Like, James can just decide to no guard the Vanguard, take 2 or 3 damage, because 1 crit is quite possible, go to 3, be very comfortable, play out of field again, and then just finish his opponent off, because Eric is in not a great position. He's at 5 damage. If Eric went for that Force 2, James might be more inclined to guard that as base 3 crit. If he triggers 2 crit, that is game. And then if he does guard the Vanguard, then he'll be at no damage again and won't be able to do anything nice next turn. So here, Eric is just kind of going middle row. He's not committing anything to the front to put his triggers on. Gets a draw trigger and triggers another draw trigger again. 2 draws, so he's pretty safe for like against something like Gauntlet Buster Dragon, which has 3 crits. But if James now just calls a full field, it's gonna be a pretty tough time for Eric to deal with, because he's gotten draws, but those aren't very good against multi-attacks. And when you're facing down 5 attacks from Excel Clan, your hand is just gonna disappear very quickly. Now, James calls out a Rising Phoenix onto that Excel 2 column circle. It's hitting 13, just hitting that 5k guard is enough. Normally a lot of cards in a Dimension player's hand is not 5ks. They're either grade 1s or grade 3s. They run a smaller amount of grade 2s, so they will be forced to commit 10k guards to guard even small attacks. So that is fine. He's swinging with James swinging with Detonics first, unboosted, so that's not actually hitting anything. He's able to just 10k for 2. Looks like Eric is dropping one of his great Dayushas, so he might have multiple. He's dropping 2 grade 3s there, so that's a no-go. James doesn't trigger anything, unfortunately. Restands and gets plus 5k, so that's now hitting. And whoa, Eric is committing one of his null guards to guard this Vanguard attack, even though it's only a single trigger. Gets nothing again, so everything is just gonna swing in for basically nothing. This is forcing out 5k guard, but again, Dimension Police likely gonna force out more. Can't take any of these attacks. He's at 5, so that's also quite unfortunate. We're looking at a 13k attack from this Rising Phoenix, a 20k from the Thunderbreak column, and this one's hitting for 19. So pretty much all 10k guards here. Drops a Quilt. Probably, maybe it doesn't need Quilt. Quilt's pretty good. This Thunderbreak column's attacking another 10k. He's asking for another 10k. He's got a few cards in there that he can use, and he nulls. He actually nulls this 10k attack, and then that Zuitan's just empty swinging for absolutely nothing. Now, here, back to Eric's turn. This is pretty much his final turn. He has to win the game now, or it's going to be really troublesome for him to win the next game. He's fishing with Die Liner again, throwing that line out to try and get a grade 3, and that looks absolutely terrible. There doesn't seem to be any grade 3s in that top 7 surge. It's grade 2s. I think there's one. Is that one Miracle Pretty and then a bunch of other stuff? So looking pretty bad. Looking pretty bad for Eric here. I think that is a game-breaking search with Die Liner, because that will not win in the game. That is a pretty weak Die Liner, hitting with no crit at all. So at least he's got the Force 1 here, so that is hitting for at least 23. You can probably push that up to 45 if he so inclines. Or maybe not, right? Because I think we saw his hand didn't look good at all. He gets the Platinum Ace from that top 7 search. At least that has a crit. So if he deals 1 damage here somehow, that Platinum Ace will still get cards out of his opponent's hand. And so let's see how hard he commits this. And I think he does actually have to commit pretty hard this turn, because there is no way he is probably surviving the next attack from Narukami. Probably just going to commit that play. He has a Die Brave. You can see a Die Brave in his hand. That gives him 5k. Die Dragon as well, so that can, with those two, that will push him up to 43. Oh no, sorry, he doesn't get the 20k, so that's going to 33. With the Die Brave boost, that'll be 41. So he's still 4k short, and that's not the Die Brave he's looking for. So I think that's a Miracle Pretty. Miracle Pretty does give 5k, right? Because he's at 5. Oh no, hang on. That's a fake Dilander, the misprint Dilander. So that's just that's not giving him power at all. And that Die Brave, yes, that Die Brave will give 5k power. I think he is short. He is not hitting 45 with all the cards in his hand. So he has to pray for a trigger to be able to ride a great Dayusha from his hand. He calls the Seal Bard. So if all goes well, that one column is hitting with a crit that is hitting lethal, and this Die Liner attacks with should be 41. Is just banking on that trigger to restand. Now, what is James gonna do? He is gonna perfect guard that. He doesn't want to take any risks, and opponent triggers a blank and another blank, so he's not able to ride that great Dayusha. Pretty unlucky. I think right now there is no point swinging into his opponent's Vanguard. He should probably hit the Regard. He should get rid of that Death Scythe and try to mitigate as many attacks as he can try. Though previously his opponent triggered empty, so his hand should have stuff to replenish it. But honestly, giving his opponent damage right now will enable James to do a few more plays, especially with that Thunder Break on the field. You have to call the supposedly safe back row behind the Vanguard, and just attacks that, both attacks into the Death Scythe, and eventually James lets that go. He rides the Gauntlet Buster this turn. He's gonna just bind out his opponent's front row. Calls the Zuitan. Looks, yeah, that Zuitan is gonna do work this turn for sure. And with 3 Excel Circles, there is gonna be a lot of attacks. What is James gonna do to fill up? He's gonna use Gauntlet Buster's effect. Binds the 2 front rows. The Zuitan procs twice. Both Zuitan and that Gauntlet Buster Dragon is getting fat. Pushes up that Die Brave. Can he bind that Die Brave? He's calling over his Phoenix, calling the Bolt Capture Dragon to call the back rows. So it looks like he can deal with both of them. Calls out the Death Scythe to bind out the Die Brave. Does he have another one? Because he needs another Soul Blast only effect to be able to bind the fake Dilander. Yes, he does. He gets the second Death Scythe, binds out that Gauntlet Buster Dragon. Now is got an extra 20k from all the binds, and also gets 10k more from his passive. It is hitting absolutely massive. That Phoenix thing came out from drop zones. That's a 11k boost. So he's just gonna no guard that. Thinks he can heal 3 times. Reveals a front from those triggers. So that probably might come into play later. Now that we know that his opponent is playing front, and we move on to the second game. Now, Dimension Police gets to go first here. Rides the fake Dilander, and he's in a pretty good position going in first. He has the extra defensive capabilities with his extra powers at grade 2 and grade 3. And he's able to just go into grade 3 first, put on pressure, and then just be able to do his nice restands 1 turn earlier and devastate his opponent. Narukami really has troubles dealing with going second. He already has to commit that extra card. Well, it's okay because Demolition Dragon has an on-hit draw, so he's calling that card out to boost to be able to hit now. But that boost will come into handy later when on grade 2 everything is 9k. He needs that boost to hit. Now, Eric is deciding to go very aggressive. Well, not very aggressive, just aggressive enough with the Die Brave, and looking to hit with this and put in the Die Brave, get a nice draw out, and put his opponent on 2 damage very early. Let's see if James decides to guard this. That Platinum Ace is hitting 23. So on a 28 with the Die Brave effect. So that was a 35. So that was that 1? Was that 1? Okay, it's pretty ballsy. Calls again with rides a Zuitan and then calls the Cho. Cho uses the effect to bind, and then calls out the Phoenix. This Cho will not hit. I don't think it's just a 9k, right? Yeah. So now Vanguard attacks 17. Eric gonna guard? Doesn't guard. Takes 1 damage, and this one's hitting 21 because of the empty front row. Pretty sure it gets a defensive, so that's nice, easy guard. But Eric still calls out the crit trigger, so bit of overguarding there, but that's fine. That's fine. He is going into grade 3 first, so he gets his entire hand online with defensive grade 3s, and he uses that die liner right now. Gonna fish for that crit again. Hopefully he doesn't miss like last time. He's able to put on some good pressure to James, and let's see what he gets here, and let's see if he actually commits to the field as well. I can't really see what he gets. Looks like a grade 3. There's a bit of glare there, unfortunately. But if it is a grade 3, that does look somewhat like a Dizoris. And if it is a Dizoris, that is very good. He's able to commit it onto the field, goes into Soul, and gets him an extra drive check, an extra 10k. Get that extra pressure on early, and deny his opponent the binds. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Right now, way better game for Eric. Only at 2 damage. It's not at 5 like before. So good times, good times. And how hard is he going to commit right now? He commits to Dizoris. I think that's fine. I think it's actually fine if he doesn't commit anything else as well. And exactly what he does, he uses that Dizoris to get rid of that Cho. Very nice. And then uses the effect to go to Soul and give Dieline an extra drive check. Now he gets a Die Brave, a draw trigger again, and another Die Brave. So no extra crits. Puts his opponent on 3 damage. So able to probably set up another lethal turn next turn with, if he gets a great Daiusha. The annoying thing for Narukami is that they really can't deny damage as well. Gauntlet Buster does get extra crit and is able to threaten that lethal damage now, but you can't just attack and pass, because what are you doing then? You're not winning. You're not winning. Like, Gauntlet Buster is still a pretty guardable attack. Okay, so he calls out a Churro and is going to attack with it now. And wow, Eric gets another defensive trigger. Pretty devastating for Narukami. This is one of, remember, like when you play way back then when Excel was not as strong as it is now, you getting a defensive trigger was absolutely painful to the Excel player. And it still is. It still is. Looks like Eric guarded the Vanguard with a null, which is perfectly fine. Gets a crit, puts it on that rearguard column. That rearguard column is only doing 2 damage. It's actually okay for Eric to take it, because you kind of need 2 CB to do the die liner plus great Daiusha play. And since it's not hitting lethal, if he goes to 5, he's also limiting his opponent's chance to heal on the next turn. And if he decides to really go in the next turn, that's exactly what he wants to do. But it looks like there's a bit of confusion on what's going on, but they probably would do a power pointing to the Demolition Dragon. That's fine. It looks like he's just going to take the 2 damage. Gets a draw trigger as well. Good times for Eric and nothing else. So back to Eric's turn. He is going to just stand and not draw. Counterblast 1 for Die Liner's effect. Okay, he remembers to draw now. Now he Soul Blast for the Die Liner effect. Let's see if he actually hits again. He's missed once. He's missed once in the game, so should not, statistically speaking. Or maybe Vanguard just happens. But I do think I see a grade 3. He gets another Die Liner, but most importantly activates the plus 20k crit. So that Die Liner itself is hitting for 43k. He doesn't really have to, so he doesn't even have to, well, with 1 boost he hits 51. But if he has something like a Die Dragon or a Die Brave, he's able to just naturally make it hit 48 without much trouble. How hard is he going to commit this turn? I think he's just going to go all in. This is the perfect time to try and kill his opponent. Puts up the double crit front row to really just deal, I guess. He attacks with Die Liner. Opponent guards. His great Daiush comes into play, doing 1 damage. Doesn't get a crit there. At least his side column's hitting for game, but looks like he's taking back that Silbar. Okay. Looks like there's some words exchanged. But yeah, I think it looks like they're gonna allow it. Die Liner is gonna Soul Blast for Die Brave's effect. It should be fine, because if he re-rides, that Platinum Ace will have a Soul to blast as well. So yeah, he's Soul Blast, Die Brave effect. Now it hits naturally for 48. He's swinging in with the extra crit. He has 2 crit, so this is a This is a potentially lethal turn. His opponent is not going to guard. And Eric drive checks. One crit from that drive check. That is lethal. Let's see if James is able to heal that. And it looks like he's not able to. Eric quickly takes that game with that dire liner attack. Now, last game, this should be James going first, because I don't know why you'd choose to go second with Narukami. And he just draws. He rides Bolt Capture Dragon and passes it back to Eric. Now, Eric just drew that Die Brave. He's not riding that. He's riding Drowhead and draws a Die Dragon. So that is his entire line secured. He's calling the Die Brave. Looks like he wants that draw. He drives check a Die Liner and draws a Die. I think he just drew. It's like 3 grade 3s in at least 3 grade 3s in Eric's hand. That is pretty bad. Now, James has 1 damage, and he's gonna really work this 1 damage. He calls down a Cho, gives it a boost, calls a Zuiton as well. He's going very, very greedy with these plays. Attacks with Cho, no damage check on Eric's side. He's gonna swing with Vanguard right now. Is he gonna pray for a front? And he gets that front. That is incredible. This is gonna be very, very painful for Eric, because Eric does not have a lot of cards in hand. If he wants to guard an attack, he has to guard this one, but I don't think he actually can, because he has to pitch a grade 1 and a grade 2 and needs that grade 2 to ride, and the rest of his hand is just all grade 3s. So he is quite likely just going straight to 4 damage in the early portion of this game. Hits 19 here. That other column is hitting massive. That is a 20 die column. So there is no guarding that column as well. So Eric was confirming things before, but I think it's just pretty confirmed. He's just going to go to 4 damage. Unless he gets a heal, he really has to pray for a heal right here, because going to 4 this early is just absolutely bad news for Eric. Or even a draw. A draw is fine. He could draw something useful to guard that last column, but it's looking like struggle street for Eric's side. Now, how can Eric respond to this next turn? If he's able to at least draw another grade 2, he's able to push those at least. Oh no, he's using Zuiton to draw. Okay, so he doesn't really need another grade 2. He just needs to ride and attack into that other Cho-O to hopefully stop the bleeding. And he just looks like they're confirming something, but he's just gonna take this. Yep. Finally gets a trigger, a very irrelevant trigger at the end, and Eric draws a null. So not something he can attack with. He does have a Die Brave that he can boost with, so I don't really think you need to boost with that unless you really want to confirm killing that Churro. And he's going to Soul Blast as well to get the extra. So he really wants to kill that Churro. Draws a Platinum Ace. Not a very good guard. So here's the biggest problem with Dimension Police, is that before grade 3, they run extra grade 3s. So if they get into this kind of situation, they have absolutely no guard until they ride their Die Liner. And here, Eric just commits another Gauntlet Buster Dragon while riding a Gauntlet Buster Dragon. That Gauntlet Buster Dragon on Vanguard is hitting massive. Gets a crit trigger and puts it on Gauntlet Buster. That Gauntlet Buster is hitting 27. I don't think he has enough guard. He has a Platinum Ace and a Die Brave, and the rest are grade 3s. He's just going to eat that, and he is going to have to pray for a heal. There is no heal, so quite unfortunately, his hand was terrible in the last game, and James takes it home, winning the 1K and takes it with Narukami. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to everyone who was able to qualify and go to the tournament. I hope you all had fun, and thanks to Kido who judged the whole thing. See you guys later. Hopefully you guys all turn up at Nationals this year and makes it to Worlds. This is Kai from WCC. We'll be doing more content this week, so hope we'll see you then, and see you in the next video. Bye!